All right, hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the No Guts, No Galaxy podcast 147. We are your hosts, Phil and Darren. Today is October 12th, 2016, and I'd like to say again, good evening. How you doing, Mama Bear?
I'm doing well. Month is flying by, like they always do. I'm excited for this month and Halloween and 5 years of NGNG and all kinds of good stuff going on. So happy to be here. Happy to be doing another podcast. And of course, tonight we do have a special guest. That's not my doppelganger. We can see him now, right?
Yes, we can. Yeah. He's right there.
So this is the equivalent of seeing Bruce Banner and the Hulk at the same time. I'm not going to say who is who, but people all the time especially during the the tournament and so forth, mix the two of us up.
What?
I know, right?
I hear it all the time.
Really?
Beards and glasses. It's just, I know. But anyway, that is Bandit.
How you doing, Bandit?
I am
How's
Bombadil.
it going?
So
Good,
we're
man.
different.
I was gonna say, I mean, to be clear, Bandit, you do have a nice beard, but that is some stiff competition, my friend. I mean,
I
We
like
call him
his
stiff.
better. I like his better. Let's be fair. It's just so symmetrical.
and it's got the gray, it's like that,
Yeah.
yeah, he's
It's
got the salt.
wise.
Yeah,
It's
he's
all
got the salt
wise.
going on, right?
I'm
I
a
mean,
little bit pre-Gandalf the gray. I'm like Gandalf the brownish gray, and then I go gray, and then I go white, and I'm all badass.
There you go.
anyways, guys, I'd like to say welcome to everyone out there. Hopefully you're having a great day, night. Don't forget, if you'd like to help support the podcast live, retweets are appreciated. I'll drop that link in the chat. And yes, here we are again. We said we are going to be doing a weekly podcast, and well, you're going to like it because we're doing it. So before we kick everything off and our main topics of discussion, and that's why we have you here, Bandit, I want to just throw you guys something. I watched an interesting movie, and I'm going to try to pronounce this. It may be totally incorrect, but is it Ex Machina or
Machina.
Machina?
Well, I think if you ask three different people, you get three different answers. But as far as I know, it's Ex Machina.
Okay. Well, I watched the movie. Have you guys seen it?
Yes.
Okay.
Nope.
Spoiler alert, earmuffs for everyone out there. Very interesting as far as like the twist at the end. And the only reason I bring this up is because I don't know, we're in the like in our lifetimes, maybe not, Darren's, but in our lifetimes.
Fuck you.
We may actually see something like this, and if you haven't seen the movie, it was definitely interesting from a sci-fi perspective. I liked it. There were some things that I didn't necessarily like, but
Well, have you seen those robots? Who is it that does? There's that four-legged one that you can't knock over. It's
Yeah, the
scary
goat.
as shit.
The
Yeah,
goat?
so
That was awesome.
yeah, I think we're closer than even people have a clue.
why does that freak you out though?
I don't know, man. Well, especially when I first saw it. That video's kind of old, but it's just because we're heading in that direction. It's not just that movie, but also like the TV show that I'm watching and loving, Westworld, that deals with the same kind of idea. I don't know. It's scared me because Terminator.
Terminator, you're worried about the singularity happening and you become obsolete. I mean, I don't know. It definitely, we can go down that like route of
Phil just
discussion.
wants robot hookers. I mean, it's
I mean, just saying,
but you're gonna be old, so hopefully they're gentle.
I mean, maybe we'll elixir of life or something like that.
Yes.
But if you haven't seen it, Bandit, it's a decent sci-fi movie, but it basically has to do with AI and
I always liked Asimov books and stuff like that, so it's probably right up my
I
alley.
Robot.
Exactly.
Any movies that you've watched yourself, Bandit, recently? Anything that you've liked?
Oh man, I don't watch all that very many movies.
I just today got to see, there's like a fan-made Indiana Jones animation that was posted on the Nerdist today that is freaking awesome. This is the kind of thing, now, of course, we've had it. We do have, thankfully, our MWO animation with Plexi. Oop, I'm just click play on it. I want to watch it again. But super good, and I would love to see something, a full-on production. This thing's only like just over a minute long, and as we found out with working with Plexi, these things just take so much time to make. But
well, and Sir Dub Dub when he did the MechWarrior revival sort of
absolutely.
video and stuff. I mean, it's like
I would pay good money, man, a lot of it too, you know, to see a 30-minute production or something
oh
like
yeah,
that.
but I mean the one scene that always just pops in my mind, and there's a GIF now of the Atlas and the direwolf. I mean, and it's only like what, a 2 second like of them circling and just the raw visceral feel, and I'm like, oh my, it's untapped, but also just the reality of like how much time and how much effort goes into, and these guys are doing it on their spare, you know, and
They're not
obviously,
getting paid.
well, I mean,
At
Plexi
least
has
not
his
job.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
got his Patreon,
Patreon.
but that's I guess at the end of the day, if we want to see it, we have to as a community support those individuals. You actually have your coffee this time, yeah. That's it.
Just saying.
Just saying. All right. Well,
I did consult the boss over here, and she reminded me that we last saw Magnificent Seven. It was actually really good. I liked it. It's action porn.
I would like to see that. I've always been a fan of Denzel. Lately, not so much, but I feel like this will bring me back. I would like to see that as well. As far as TV goes, like I said, I've been watching Westworld, totally loving that show. Now, because of, thanks Netflix, I hate shows that come out every week, once every week. Fuck that, man. Put it all out there. I'm totally a binge show watcher, but anyway, loving that. And then, as we talked about last week, I started the whole series again, all the BattleTech novels. So I actually purchased the digital copy of Thunder Rift from Randall Bills and the guys Catalyst. And so I've started that book again. I'm well into that book. Love it, as always. You know, it's got its unique, what do I want to call it, character, flavor, because it's an old book, but...
Someone just asked me on the forums earlier about, and I listed the sort of like chronological order, because like the first novel is technically a Sword and Dagger, but right. from a written standpoint, it was horrible. Like, I don't know what that. It was written by like, anyways, it was super bad, but there is actually pertinent information. I mean, I'm not going to spoil it. It has to do with, you know, Hans Davion and stuff like that,
Yep.
and all that. And it is actually pertinent information. But I always recommend Decision at Thunder Rift. And again, I think it goes back to sort of my imagination of being an adult and seeing movies now that are portraying, you know, sci-fi in a vision that we've never really been able to see before, and allows you to sort of expand. When I read the novels now, I think of it's just completely different and a better experience for me personally as an adult reading the novels, even though they are, generally speaking, not, you know, it's not like they're difficult reads. It's not like they're, you know, like, I don't know, made for like a certain IQ level or whatever, but they're definitely like kids, teenager fanfare.
They're open to all. They're family friendly. They're whatever. You know, I read them in my teens. I read them in my 20s, 30s, and now my 40s. I've enjoyed them because I'm a BattleTech fan, but through all those decades. I'm always reminded when I read them how different the fiction is from video games, and for good reason, and tabletop and so forth. But what I love in this novel is just how terrifying a locust is, you know, or a wasp or a stinger, or the big ones that you know, the Grey Death Legions or Carlisle's Commandos or whatever starts off with are the you know, the why can't I think of the Shadowhawk?
Yeah,
it's like, you know, that's their main. Yeah. It's taken out of action early.
Think
and then the Marauder gets off the dropship, and it's like everybody goes, "Oh my!" They treat it like it's an Atlas. We're so used to just everybody running around with 100-ton mechs, everything big, whatever they want.
It's the visceral nature of real life and how you can portray that in a novel and a game where you just have respawns and there is no consequence, right? Yep. And it's like, for me, I can put it in perspective of, it's like, these are military vehicles, like having a tank, and imagine if here we are sitting on some alley and all of a sudden a dude pops around with an RPG aiming, that pucker factor of 9,000 is going to kick in, right? I mean, and it's one of those where now you can imagine this, you know, 3-story, 2-story tall, you know, machine that is...
Well, somebody pulls out a knife on you and you're going to have the pucker factor, so let alone a 20-ton freaking death machine,
Yeah, so...
Yeah, so anyway, totally loving it. The point is, we're going to have Randall on next week. This
We are.
time next week, we're going to have Randall Bill. Some of you might have caught him earlier on Hyper RPG. They did a Q&A with Mitch Gittleman from Hairbrained, and it was quite good and cool to listen. I always love listening to
I missed it.
insider talk or whatever. I'm sure it'll be on there as a highlight or whatever. But yeah, worthwhile, good to listen to. But I was kind of prepping for next week. It'll be fun to talk to him again, see what they're doing right now.
Bandit, are you? Can you give us a little bit of history on you? BattleTech history. Where did it start for you?
How old were you when you were born?
When I was born, well, geez, not very old, but MechWarrior 2 was my first love. I just remember that freaking intro, man.
All of you.
I could quote the whole damn thing.
All of you MechWarrior 2. I feel like 90% of this community came in at MechWarrior 2.
Dude, that's what happens when you're that old. What do you want from us? Like,
well, but you know what? When Mitch and Randall and all them were talking,
that she's not my first love.
Oh.
She's looking at me like
the dagger eyes. That's why I like watching Mitch and Randall, because they're even Randall's a little bit younger than
was
me.
it MechWarrior 2 or was it MechWarrior 2 Mercenaries or Ghost Bear?
MechWarrior 2, and then I got all of the expansions. I remember that Kodiak opening and stuff. I mean, I loved it all. It was great. And the Mercenaries opening too. It's just all the intro videos just ingrained in my head, but I enjoyed the gameplay and all that stuff. It was fantastic. And then I actually, as I got older, I went back and played like the SNES and stuff like that, and that top-down version on the NES or SNES and all that stuff. It was really sweet. Was that like MechWarrior 3045 or something like that? I don't remember. It's been forever. But going back and playing the old ones, I still enjoyed them. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Do you have a fast? Did you get into the novels at all? Did you go down that route?
I did actually.
Okay.
In fact, fun fact is, I was gonna name my first boy Aiden.
Oh, here we go. No way.
But since it's so damn popular, we ended up picking something else. But
man,
since I was a kid, after reading the books, I was set on it. My first kid was gonna be named Aiden, and my dreams are shattered.
It's all right. I was gonna go the Phelan route, but I don't know if the wife will let that one happen. So yeah.
I named my daughter Micah, which kind of sounds like Kai. No, it doesn't. But anyway,
not even close, buddy.
Not even close. I'm trying, grasping.
Yeah. I sold
That's
it hard,
cool.
but
yeah. So you came in at MechWarrior 2, been around the novels and everything else. What about tabletop? Do you play that ever? Have you?
I've not, but I want to. It's just it came down.
I feel like
to
you're a
not knowing
candidate,
anybody.
man. Yeah.
I never knew anybody. I've never played D&D either. Those are games that I've always wanted to do, but never got into because I never was surrounded by people that wanted to play them.
If you weren't going to be shoutcasting at MechCon, I would say go hang out with Randall and play some tabletop with him.
I watched a lot of that, the Death from Above and stuff like that. It was pretty slick. I wish I had miniatures. I want miniatures so bad, even if they're giant miniatures. I want statues.
Yeah.
Phil, that's not me. But anyway, it's awesome to have you here. We, of course, have you here for some reasons, things we want you to talk about. The main one, the big one that we wanted you to talk about, and thank you for showing up. This was last second. Literally, it was afternoon here when I asked him if he wanted to be on today, but we got some notice that things were happening, and we want to talk to you about the big one, MRBC Season 8. Now, last season, I shouldn't say last year, Season 7 was a record breaker. You had how many teams in Season 7?
I believe we had 73 teams was our new record for signups in Season 7. That was about 6 months ago.
Let's take a step back here. If someone is listening and or watching this podcast, what the hell is MRBC and why should I care?
It's Merbuch.
Merc.
Or as Trainsy likes to call it, Mr. BC League.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
What
does it stand for?
It is Mercenary Review and Bonding Commission. It is not original to us. It actually existed, I believe, in, was it MechWarrior 3?
MechWarrior
4? It was in Mercenaries. MechWarrior 4 Mercenaries, I think, is what had it. But of course, it's been in lore and stuff like that forever. But it's essentially, that's the fancy name for the third-party competitive league for MechWarrior Online. It's completely player-run. We do get some awesome support from PGI, of course, in terms of rewards for the winners and stuff like that, and we appreciate that for sure. But all of the infrastructure and everything like that is all run by people who just love playing this game, and all
Who
the
does
admins
run
and
it?
everything.
Who are the community members?
Doyle is the head honcho from 9th STS. He's in the European region. Frost Pendragon from SJR, he's another administrator, and then of course me and MD has been helping out as well. Those are the main guys doing it right now, but a lot of people in the background, especially Doyle's fantastic girlfriend Shell is the webmaster, and without the awesome infrastructure in the background to keep things running and well oiled and stuff, it's so difficult to run a league, but she really makes it look easy. She's a genius.
I have to say, I was involved in season 7. I did play on the PGI team for a bit, and I did all the interfacing on the website. Scheduling matches, getting signed up, all that stuff. And I have to say, amazing job to have that much of it automated. I'm sure cuts down a huge amount of time on your guys' end. And I totally appreciated that. In my opinion, if you're going to be a serious league or tourney or anything like that, it's got to be something like that. And you guys are obviously serious. What makes, MRBC has been around for a long time, right? This is one of the oldest, if not, I think Arhad started a little bit earlier, but it's
the longest surviving league, definitely.
Yeah, longest surviving and maybe the highest participation. Because what I was getting at, this season, season 8, broke a record again, didn't you?
Absolutely, a couple records. We got 75 teams now, so we've beaten the 73 team, and the Oceanic region made a very strong showing, and I think part of that is because of the tournament got a lot of people in there and excited about competitive MechWarrior. So I believe it's 13 teams for Oceanic when there was only 9 last season. So we're seeing that region start to grow, and that's extremely exciting.
So obviously we're talking about the comp scene, and the comp scene is basically made up of player-run leagues and tournaments. There's, some one-off tournaments that happen. There's some that have happened a few times. And like you said, you're the longest-lasting MRBC as a season or the league. What sets MRBC apart? Why should people watch MRBC? Which, from my perspective, absolutely everybody has any interest in MWO, BattleTech, any of that stuff should be checking it out. But what sets it apart? Why should people check it out?
I think the biggest thing that sets it apart, it's not just a tournament. It's not just like you go in, you get your butt kicked, and you're done. It's a divisional league that really is, I wouldn't say noob friendly, but it is definitely friendly to people who want to start taking competitive MWO seriously, in which you get 8 guys together and in a scheduled match and play, so divisional, meaning we've got tiers of skill levels, and you climb the tiers as your team proves itself and gets better. I know my team started in the very bottom, and we were able to work ourselves up. We're currently in Division B. We definitely have a lot of fighting going on to be able to keep that spot, because some people say we should be relegated. I'm going to prove them wrong this season. But either way, bottom line, there's a definite top to bottom, and you got all the best teams at the top, and they're fantastic to watch, and it's some really good shows. But we do put a focus on covering top to bottom, A, B, C, D down to E, showcasing all these new fresh teams coming in, seeing their different play styles, being able to comment on it, and just watch these teams grow. And that's I think it's the biggest thing that set us apart is just how much we focus on the media portion of it, uploading recordings of the matches, shoutcasting, promo videos and stuff like that, and just getting people excited to play.
I was going to say, looking at it from the outside, we've got the, MWO tourney going on, and how many teams registered for that? Well, to me, it looks like some of these teams that may not have even known about MRBC or RHOD, MRBC seems to be an area where they can go to and at least grow and build that sort of skill level and or experience. Because, at the end of the day, we know how those top teams are going to perform, and just like you said, they're going to be up there. But then how about the rest? And then to me, that's what's intriguing is what happens a year from now when, the next MWO World Tournament, and are we going to see some of the teams that just started off and are able to participate in MRBC throughout the year and gain that experience? what happens at the top, what gets shaken up. So
There's three things specifically that I love about MRBC, and I've been a fan for a long time. And I just love everything that they're doing because it is such an immense amount of work from everybody, the guys that are running it, Doyle and Frost, and shoutcasters like MDM and Bandit, but also all the way in all the people in the background that aren't getting the glory or whatever, as well as every single team player, captain, everything. It's just an amazing amount of work that goes into it. So I love watching it. But the three things that stick out to me, number one is, of course, you get the AAA play, the top tier, which tier A or whatever, bracket A, best teams, best players in the world, insane to watch. To watch that skill level is just great fun, always, or most of the time. The second thing is, on the other end of the scale, new teams, always, what I love about them is you can just have these crazy matches. They top tier teams, they get a meta down. They get every little mistake you make, the tiniest mistake, is huge. It could lose literally the match.
Snowball effect.
Yeah, snowball effect. Whereas with these starter teams, man, they'll just throw you a curveball, things that
Zeus is loose.
Yeah, Zeus is loose. They're experimenting, and so amazing matches can happen from that that are just as fun to watch as the top tier teams. And then the third and final thing that I love about it is being able to witness the growth, like you said, that happened with Marine Mechs, of an entry-level team, people that get excited about it, love the competition, the feel of the competition, but, can't take on Imperial or whoever else. And they, start at the bottom, which isn't a bad thing. You're starting at entry level and you work your way up, and seeing people develop that skill and those tactics and learn how to play is it's as exciting as anything else. So yeah, it's a great league. So where can people go to check that out?
We are located at mrbcleague.com. We also have a Twitch channel that I encourage everybody to follow, which is twitch.tv/mrbcleague. That is the primary channel that these shoutcasts will be on. So if you keep the notifications up for that one, you might be able to catch some of the epic games going on. We just had our first one yesterday, which was kind of an unofficial one. It was a scrimmage where two teams were kind of feuding over who was going to get their spot in Division A. And they duked it out to an excellent, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it yet, but an excellent
spoiler alert
ending. And it was fantastic. And it was a pleasure to cast. And it's going to be great getting back into the saddle and watching some of those games. It's just so, it's not the same map over and over and stuff like that. It's excellent straight the way through. All 5 drops, all different tonnages and stuff like that. It's amazing.
Well, and I think that's a point to bring up too. If someone's looking at getting involved with MRBC, is it's not just, oh, here's X tonnage, go. It's not that. I mean, you guys have restrictions on mechs, maps, and all that. I mean, can you dive into that? And also, from your perspective, what do you think is more entertaining or enjoyable from maybe even a player standpoint?
Well, personally, I love the extra restrictions because I feel like it brings a lot of the, I guess how well you do comes back to the mech lab and to the planning board where you're coming up with your drop decks, picking the right pilots for the right mechs and stuff like that. And I love that staging and how important that is. Obviously, the best laid plan completely goes out the window as soon as the first shots are fired, but it still matters. It still definitely matters, and you can't just go refit a mech and come back to the battle or anything like that. Your plan has to stick in some fashion.
Gotcha.
And so some of the each match typically has the same restrictions on it, but each drop is different. So drop 1, 4 lights, 4 mediums, and only 1 duplicate mech allowed. So you're going to see at least 7 different chassis on the field per team, which is fantastic. And then it gets heavier and heavier as you go. And it's that same layout every week, but the maps change and stuff. So it's exciting to see the strategies that come out for varying tonnages.
Gotcha.
Now, let's see, we're recording this on Wednesday evening. This will probably go live on YouTube tonight, hopefully SoundCloud as well, but at latest early in the morning. If people are saying, hey, this sounds cool, I want to check out MRBC, obviously we said twitch.tv/MRBC League. is there a YouTube page? If somebody wants to start watching tomorrow, when can they? Like, when and how can they start watching MRBC?
If you go to mrbcleague.com, there's a section right at the front where the match casts are showcased. The most recent one is there, but if you drop down the menu, you can choose match casts or team recordings. And team recordings, teams are given bonuses for uploading their perspective of the battle. So you can go watch a cast and then go back and watch it from a pilot's perspective, just to see how it went down and see whether or not I was completely full of myself when I made a call on something. Like you can get into that deep dive and really see, and especially when they leave their comms on, that is I love hearing team comms. It is one of the most exciting things ever, and I think that was the huge backbone to the This Is MechWarrior Online video, and the second one. That team comms, it sends chills up my spine.
Dude, that's just what I was gonna say. Look, those videos are awesome, and I don't want to demean any part of that production. Everything takes a ton of work, but it is those comms, those battle comms that exactly. I just got chills when you were talking about it. It is the comms that gives me chills because I've been there. I haven't been there with MWO, but I've been competitive in other games. I know that feeling, and just hearing that, to me, that is pretty much. The title says it. This is MWO. That is what MWO is to me personally. It's that experience when you get together with your teammates, you work out a plan, you execute that plan, and you're successful or not, whatever. It's just so exciting, and the comms on those videos just capture it perfectly. And I agree. That's without those comms, those videos, I'm sorry to say, just would not have anywhere near the same impact. Love every aspect of it, but yeah, definitely.
And I have renamed my team. I'm with the Marine Mechs, of course. Our A team is called the Marine Mechs Screaming Bandits, and it's that way for a reason.
Because we've heard some of your comms in those videos. But anyway, that is awesome. I want everybody out there to, if you have any bit of interest whatsoever in what we've been talking about, be sure to check out MRBC League. That's mrbcleague.com, or you can check them out on twitch.tv/MRBC League. And like Bandit said, you can go to their main website. You can see some of the videos that different perspectives. That was also another element that I thought was really cool. So be sure to check that out. Now, staying in line of shoutcasting, moving on to the next topic. You've been you just basically finished a very long period of time, both you and MDM Zero.
The other guy.
Yeah, the other guy. I saw that tweet today. That was awesome. But anyway, you guys finished the qualifying rounds for the MechWarrior Online World Championships, and now you're moving into the regional finals. Or, right? Is that what they're called? Regional finals?
Regional finals, yep.
So many different terms. I got to make sure I'm using the right one. So they actually already started. Oceanic started. I actually stayed up until, or at least made myself be aware at 3 a.m. that they were starting my time, and I got to hang out for part of them. Very fun. I loved listening to all the Aussies on there, and because you had some people talking in your team speak or whatever.
The comms bleed through.
Yeah.
And just hearing that sportsmanship between the Oceanic guys is
that's
fantastic.
What I was just going to say, man. Kudos to you guys out there in Oceanic. I'm sure not everybody's that way, and there's plenty of people in Euro and Americas or whatever the same way. But the sportsmanship all around has just been phenomenal, and I tip my hat to you guys. And it was a lot of fun watching the Oceanic guys. So tell us about the regional finals. Obviously today the finalists were announced, as well as the schedules. Do you want to tell us who the finalists are from each region?
Sure.
Do you have that on hand?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I have it up right here. In the Americas region, Imperial, Steel Jaguar, Lords, and it's House of Lords, of course. The 228th IBR, Black Watch, and Storm Jaguar are the top 5 for the Americas. Not a lot of surprises there for a lot of people who saw the initial lineup. Storm Jaguar is, I guess, a little bit of a surprise in that it's a combo team. It's a combination of Seraphim Rising Storm and Steel Jaguar pilots. Kind of they're the guys who didn't make the main roster went and formed a combo. So it's exciting to see that they made it up into the top 5. We had a very exciting, well, we didn't really get to watch it, but the fact that it existed was exciting. A 3-way tie between 228 Storm Jaguar and Dropship 5, a very upcoming team that everybody's excited to watch. They are actually going to be in Div A this season, but they had a 3-way tie. It was a dead tie too. There was no way to really do any sort of tiebreaker for it besides to play additional matches, and they played that out. And 228 and Storm Jaguar have moved on into that top 5 region.
I would like to real quick interject what you were just specifically touching on, that tie, 3-way tie. We are going to be scheduling a live stream. This is in the developmental stages. It may even be as early as Friday. Bandit agreed to join us. Hopefully MDM will be joining us as well, Phil and I. And we're going to do kind of a little bit of a post commentary wrap up of the qualifiers, as well as that round robin between those 3 teams and kind of what happened. Maybe go over some of the best matches, do some highlights, talk about the regional finals, moving into the finals at MechCon and so forth. But that stream will be coming up within the next few days. By the earliest, Friday, by the latest, probably Monday or Tuesday next week. We'll let you know, depend on these guys' schedules and what we can throw together. But we will have that wrap up. But sorry to interrupt. Continue.
No problem. In the Europe side, we've got Eon Synergy, Russian Clan Jade Falcon. The other Lords team, House of Lords, the European team, Black Spikes, and 9th Sanguine Tigers. And then for Oceanic, 228 Wild Ones. That's the second 228 team to make a top 5. This is, of course, the Oceanic group. Squad Foxtrot, I believe they're part of OMC. ISRC, Coma, and Eben Keshik.
Yeah, so I got to see a little bit of Foxtrot and Coma on Monday. Some good teams. So it looks like Lords and 228 were the 2 teams that got actually 2 teams in different regions. Are any of these other teams affiliated in that way, or are those the only 2 that are?
I mean, I guess you could say Storm Jaguar slightly in that they have some SJR players on their team. But other than that, I'm not sure if there's much of a blend there between any of the other ones across region.
All right, so you're going to be casting these when? What's the schedule?
We will be casting, we've already casted the first day of the Oceanic region. We got through 3 of the matches. 4 5-team double elimination. There can be a maximum of 9 matches played total. 8 if the final match is a victory for whoever's undefeated, essentially. But if that team loses, then they play again for a 9th match. So we've played through 3 of them so far on Oceanic, so we have to finish up on Sunday. But tomorrow for Europe, we will be casting about midday for the Americans anyways. Their first matchup. So we'll see how many we can get through there on the bracket. Americas will be starting Saturday night. And then that's the first days for all 3 regions. The second day for all 3 regions, it looks like Oceanic's going to be on Sunday. Looks like Europe's going to be on Sunday. And then America might be on Sunday or might be on Monday, depending on who gets knocked out in the first match because of some scheduling issues where some teams can play on the weekend, some can't, etc., etc. So we're going to have to just watch to see how those go out. And then once we know more, we'll definitely update the schedule.
So I have a question.
We might have a super Sunday, that's for sure.
So obviously you've got the big question is who do you think the final 2 teams will be? But before that, let me ask you a question about maybe the 3 different time zones. Do you see a big difference in the style of play between the 3?
I do see some differences. Some of what we would consider really high tier teams who are currently essentially undefeated teams, or at least sitting in first C. A lot of them have very similar play styles, I would say. But even as close as like second and below that, you definitely start to see a little bit of differences in personalities. Some of that might have to do with what pings they play at or what pings their opponents typically play at. So I'm really excited to see once we get to these teams on LAN how that plays out, because there's no more excuses
Poor
in terms of
Oceanic.
latency. Yes, and Oceanic had the option to play on whatever server they wanted, but they stuck it out on the Oceanic servers. And even with sometimes people having 200 ping from Australia, they're still playing and playing hard and getting the job done for sure.
I've had my Australian friends, you know, I play a lot of online games with them, and most of the time, 90% of the time, they're playing on US based servers just because there's more of us from the US or whatever. But every once in a while, I'll play on his servers, and he doesn't know how to play because without that lag, he's trained himself, you know, to shoot with lag or whatever. So it will be interesting.
Jay's like, do pings under 150 exist? And you're right, there are 3 teams, obviously. I'm interested to know who's gonna go home with the prize money.
Yeah, I don't know if we should project though, or
upsets
guess.
happen. We've seen upsets happen even in the qualifiers.
Yeah.
So it's anybody's game, and it could come down to just how people are feeling on that day, you know. And that's why it's nice that it's double elimination, because even if you screw up in one, you still have another chance to play against somebody else and work yourself back up the ladder. But who knows? You know,
what's been a big upset for you? You know, this season, or at least this round. What's been one of the big noticeable ones?
Well, DS5 was a big one. Just
Dropship 5 just kind of came out of nowhere. They're really exciting, and you can tell that they're taking it very seriously. It's one of the reasons why they've been kind of shot up to Div A right now, is because we want to see what they can do when they play against the best of the best, and you know, close that skill gap, whatever remaining skill gap. Maybe we'll start talking about Dropship 5 going forward. Who knows? There's only one way to find out, and that's to watch them, of course. But you know, we've had upsets, I could say, such as Eon Synergy losing against 331st Minnesota Tribe. It was just a really well executed brawl that caught Eon Synergy off guard. I think in an even, you know, if Eon could do it again, they would probably roll over 331st. But for some reason, something happened on that day. It was a big upset. It didn't end up changing the standings at all. But because Eon, of course, won out, but that's their only loss, is that upset. And it was shocking. It was definitely shocking. And if upsets happen in the brackets, it's going to have a much bigger impact than in the qualifiers.
Gotcha. Well, I'm excited because I actually get to, you know, meet you. And what
we're talking about is MechCon, yeah. So
MechCon,
obviously we're going into the regional finals, and then the finals at MechCon, where Bandit will be.
I mean,
that's what you're...
I'm super excited for a few reasons. One, MechCon, you get to watch the, you know, the final matches, see who's going to come out on top. You get to, for those that you know, get to meet, you know, Randall Bills, get to meet Jordan, get to meet Russ, get to, you know, for those that haven't done that as well. The tabletop HBS is going to be there. I mean, and obviously there will be some surprises from PGI's, you know, as well. So and it's getting closer, and I think it was like a surreal moment last year, Daeron, when we went, like, just walking in the office, you know, hey, how things going? So it'll be, and of course we are going to be doing a podcast there live. We're going to take over some part of the office and do that, and maybe steal some people to bring in. So we will do that as well. But MechCon, yeah, it's.
I believe Bandit will be getting you and MDM up there a day early, so hopefully we'll be getting into those details. I think the last couple days of this week, trying to arrange the schedules, but hang out in the office. Tina said she's giving a couple of office tours that Friday before MechCon. But what are you looking forward to most at MechCon? This will be your first time in Vancouver, yeah or no?
Yeah, I've never been out of the country. I actually got my passport specifically because of this, so it's going to be kind of an experience.
Right on. But, so what are you looking forward to? What's exciting?
I can't wait to see some of the fellow mech warriors and stuff like that. I don't really have people around me that are into the same things as me. I wear like mech warrior shirts every single day to work and stuff, and nobody gives a crap. There was like one time some guy, like a vendor, came in and is like, "Hey, I know what that is," and that's it. You know,
you're gonna be a superstar. You are. You're gonna have people
by nerds. I love it.
It's gonna be awesome, dude. And there's gonna be people that are excited and nervous to meet you.
I will say this. Bring a jacket, like something that's waterproof. Do it, and then or umbrella as well, and something warm. Yeah, because like that
No,
or
just
like
drizzles, rain all the time.
yeah, and our last like our first day there was sort of overcast. The day of you know, like last year the party was perfect weather, and then the day after it was just like just sideways rain, and I should have known better. And my wife was like, "I told you to bring a jacket," and I was like, "You're right." And yeah, so
I did also hear a rumor of possibly BattleTech themed drinks.
no.
Something
I
like
have heard that as well. Yeah,
the
it sounds
PP
like they're.
PPC, the grasshopper.
I
So
will
those
try
were
them
some names
all.
that were thrown around.
Because
It'll make for
Try
a
them
good
all.
cast.
Man.
it'll only take, you know, two, and you know, yeah.
I don't know.
I have limited hard points and tonnage. Then,
Oh my gosh, you
I
should.
don't know how many drinks it was until I started tripping over things, but yeah,
I mean, to
it
be
happens
fair,
quick.
in your defense, there was literally lights in the middle of a walkway.
Who sticks
Who
lights
does that?
on
Like
the
that,
floor in the
I'm
middle? I don't know.
full
but
of people that are going to be drinking. Like that
Yeah.
was not thought out, you know. But
Anyway,
yeah.
we're excited to see you at MechCon. That is, of course, December 3rd. Anybody that can make it would love to see you there. Can't wait to meet you all. Anybody that can't, it will be streamed live. I think the entire 12 hours are going to be streamed live on twitch.tv/Piranha Games. In fact, I don't know how much he even knows about it, but there may be Phil is going to be working the event. That's what I was
Oh.
going to say. He may not even know about it. So as far as the stream goes, there's potential that you'll be seeing
Oh, geez.
Phil walking around with a microphone and
Yeah,
on camera and
that's
so forth.
that's a new one on me. That's I
Yeah.
didn't know about this. You know,
We plan Phil's
is
schedule
that
without letting
what
him know.
it is? Like, oh, okay. But yeah. So speaking of MWO, we do have a few things. There's been a few things in the community that I love artwork. I that the fan creations
Wait,
part.
why the hell are you calling it artwork? We all know what this is called.
I'm just
What
saying.
is this
No,
called?
I peruse the fan creations
It's
area,
mech
and
porn, though.
I know.
Let's call it
Hold
what
on.
it is.
This
Let's
is
not call
pix.
it
This
artwork.
no. This is pixel porn. This is
Okay,
what this
pixel
is.
porn, nice.
Can you link? This is actually a Pixel Mix, and it started by a handful of people, and I think it's Lucius Dan has continued, and Capper Deluxe is out there.
Be
Creating,
luscious, Dan. But
he's
yes.
creating this little 2D game as well from it, and is it Luscious? I don't, okay. But anyways, super awesome. I love mech porn, pixel porn, and of course, speaking of mech porn, our
the
guy,
daddy of mech porn, or one of them.
Spooky777. Obviously, we know him from all of his mech porn. He actually started doing Catalyst Game Labs work officially behind the scenes a while ago, and he's came out with a few. Anyways, he just updated his DeviantArt page. So if you like any of his stuff, make sure to give him a follow over there.
His
Yeah.
stuff is very unique, very realistic. It's scenes. It's you see the infantry, you see the vehicles, you see everything. It's basically like a photograph, and I think he just does such an amazing job. I'm so glad Catalyst saw his talent as well. I feel like he just captures moments in time, and that they just speak to me. You know, like on every level. An amazing artist.
And really, he's the only artist that takes MechWarrior
Does it
online.
that way, yeah.
All he, you know, what he's doing, not all he's doing. What he's doing is he's actually setting up a scene in 3ds Max or Maya or whatever, and then he takes a render and then he brings that in Photoshop and does his whole, you know, magic.
Magic, man.
But you know, actually seeing mechs that we play with in game now in a scene where in the BattleTech universe, and to me that's really cool. So guys, make sure to, like, you know, give him a like. You know, I think he does commission work as well as like Shimmering Sword and you know, all these guys.
You know, remember pre-MWO, we knew these artists just as amazing artists that did the best mechs that we liked on you know, on
Alex.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
You know.
all these guys though. You know, it's so cool to see, and Hayden, these community members just do something out of passion, and then it actually turns into a paying gig, like it happened for us. It's just been awesome, and to me, it is the best times for mech. Well, I'm going to call it mech porn. I was going to say artwork, art, but it's just an amazing time. The best artists. I love all the classics, of course I do, from the 80s and so forth. But man, the stuff that these guys are doing is just top notch. Super happy about it. I think that was the last community thing you had. Yeah, if you don't mind, I'm going to really quickly run through the MWO stuff that's going on,
Yep.
the MWO news. If you don't mind linking stuff as I hit it. But just a quick announcement: 2016 customer appreciation rewards are coming to a close. You have until October 18th to qualify for those rewards. You can go to the website mwomerks.com, check out what it takes to qualify. And I did actually. Did you drop into Stable and see some of those mechs, those designs?
Yep. And
Dude,
I was also playing.
I wasn't expecting that.
I was also playing with the Huntsman.
Of course you are. Huntsman, amazing. Speaking of that, we are day 2 into the countdown to the Huntsman, the 7-day countdown. So let's see. I think yesterday they did the badges and the titles or something like that.
Yep.
Matt might have done the desktops today. I know he was a little behind because he was working on the
all I know is this,
appreciation stuff.
Bandit, you're gonna love it.
Love what? The Huntsman?
The Huntsman.
Yeah.
Let's just put it in this perspective. You have a 50-ton clan Omni-Mech that has a multitude of hardpoints, all of which are high mounted, even the torso. All the energies are cockpit level or higher, and ballistic, by the way. It's got Indo, it's got Pharaoh, it's got 5 jump jets, everything the Nova wishes it had, but, you know, the difference being too is I think it's going to be like the Night Gear, where, you know, the tonnage, which it's like 20 some odd tons, but crit space I think is going to be the key part. So I think the Huntsman is going to be a terrifying 50-tonner.
Bandit, have you been interested in it at all? Have you been looking at it? Did you think it would be... You're a heavy guy. What are you talking about? He likes this fucking Warhammer.
I watched the Kanajashi Should You Buy videos, and I kind of get a good idea based on that, and I have not watched that yet. The last one I watched, of course, was the Night Gear video, but I can't wait. Has he put out one for the Huntsman yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Okay. Well,
I don't believe so.
If he does, I will.
So you hear that, Kaniashi? It is up to you to sell Bandit here.
I like watching his videos for sure.
Well, if you want to check out his videos, youtube.com.
And I also think there's something to be said about like it's taller, you know, it doesn't have the squat sort of wide, you know, arms as well, where the, you know, the Nova. It's gonna be interesting. Let's just
and damn fine legs,
and
very unique.
It's pretty cool
legs.
Looking. Yeah, I mean,
what are those legs called?
The Digigrade, I think. Digigrade. Yeah.
Anyway, looks really cool. And we'll be looking forward to that video from Kaniashi. But anyway, tomorrow will be day 3. We'll get probably the quirks, and then the usual. We'll get the scale images and cockpit video and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for that. That is, of course, the Huntsman coming on the patch on the 18th, so a week from yesterday. Then we've got Mechtoberfest still going on. That's a 17-day event. It ends on the 17th, so you've got 5 days left. You can earn MC cockpit items.
Hold on, let me take a step. I've actually... obviously, I can't participate in all of these events. You can't either. But I've heard a lot of praise about this type of thing.
The long-term event?
Yeah, I mean, it spaces out. You don't have the same... it almost goes a step further where I think dailies, where the dailies would be fantastic if they were different. It's like logging into HOTS or whatever game, and... the dailies are different for everyone, ergo it doesn't overflood the, you know, matchmaker and stuff just with like just heavies when a mech comes out and stuff like that. Right. And I think
we're still going to have those other events, but I do believe that this is an awesome. Yeah,
and I guess that's what I'm saying. Where I think take this, and of course I know Matt. You know, he's the
Matt
brains.
Works very hard on these things. Of course, you know, I think the events have to make sense for Matt. So if we're going to be doing like Oktoberfest, Mechtoberfest makes sense, right? So we need to work with Matt, I think, on finding
No Shave November. How does that work?
Right, exactly, something like that. I'm not shaving.
Just gotta say, the name of this event is pretty slick. I wonder who came up with that one.
That would be Matt as well. But hey,
no, and the Atlas with the beer stuff. No, but I mean, it's one of those things where I did hear some complaining, but I think you're just gonna hear complaining just because whatever. In general, I've heard nothing but positivity. It allows people to take their time, spreads it out. It doesn't force everyone in the same thing through, you know, and I think it's a net win. And again, I just look at it as, okay, what's doing right? Can we improve? And I think dailies would be fantastic for people as well.
By the way, we got bitch slapped from chat. Evidently, Kaniashi did put out a...
No, you did. I didn't say it. And Bandit didn't say it.
All right, I got bitch slap from chat. He did put out a video. Should
Yes,
you
he
buy
did.
it? Now that being said, he was just going based off spreadsheets, which he loves the spreadsheets, and that's fine. But he didn't have
I
access
will
to
say
it yet.
with
I
it,
will
but
say this
Yeah, he is.
for those that are interested, and again, it's something we talked about last week. My involvement with the quirks. The Huntsman does not have any base quirks. It has a set of 8 that because it will be such a good mech, just like the Night Gear. So just to let you guys know ahead of time, so there's no like, oh my god.
Yeah,
And
you just squashed all the armor guard. It's not going to happen now.
well,
There will be
it's
no
it's just the
uprising.
fact of it's a
No, I
great way
know.
of bringing a
You got to
powerful
try.
chassis in without having to worry about the consequences therein. But I will also say that the Omni mechs and Omni pods and quirks will be going through a slight revision in the next I would say patch November, December, and then January as well. Some of the goals again bringing sort of pertinence to having a leg set. It should have different options for you to take, and so on and so forth. So just keep that in mind.
All right,
Probably
did
shouldn't have
get
said that
derailed
much,
from the
but
news there. We were talking about Mechtoberfest. Awesome. Moving on. Clan Heroes Collection. If you haven't seen it, they were announced. Finally, the basically the Clan Invasion Wave 1 mechs now have their heroes. That includes the Timberwolf, Stormcrow, Direwolf, etc. So, Phil, if you can link that, check it out. A lot of people have been wanting those mechs to have heroes. Now they do. We did talk about MechCon. We're going to be there. Bandit's going to be there. MDM Zero is going to be there. All the finalists, the teams are going to be there, as well as some minor, major, whatever celebrities in your eyes depends from the community, including Side Strafe, George, Duncan, Fisher, Ledoux. The Beef will be there. Angerbeard from the Angry Joe Army. Zoof, we found out last week or a couple weeks ago. Zoof's going to be there, and potentially
Kick
a
him in
couple
the
other
leg.
guys. Trying to get Crazy Hippie there. Trying to get Trainsy there. And anybody else that we can get there. It's going to be a hell of a party. That's December 3rd in Vancouver. Like I said, if you can't be there, then watch it on twitch.tv/Piranha Games.
did we give away those 2 tickets? Did we figure out, or
Not yet.
what's the plan on that? Or did I just throw you under the bus on that one?
I'm just linking to the tickets. You can purchase tickets right there if you want information on MechCon. Hit that link. No, we haven't yet. In fact, I was just thinking about that over the last couple of days. I had some personal stuff happen in life. It kind of derailed some of my plans, but we have all kinds of stuff we want to give away this month because it is NGNG's 5-year anniversary. Our first podcast was 5 years ago on October 31st. Again, I don't know why we did it on Halloween night, but we did 5 years ago.
Because we don't love children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't then, I guess. But anyway. I wanted to give stuff away all month, but like I said, time's been flying by. We're already on the 12th. It's almost halfway in. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do, I got to pop into your streams to start giving stuff away. But
and I'm on a weird schedule right now. I'm at nights.
Like
I'm
his wife's working nights, so he's
6 to
up all night.
6. So she doesn't get home till 6:30, 7 o'clock. Yeah.
I'm going to figure out a way to give everything away, and I think what I'm going to do is just bump it
Everything.
Into November. So we'll keep giving stuff away well into November as part of the celebration for NGNG's 5 years. I want to say thank you to everybody out there for sticking with us. If you have, if you haven't, we understand. Maybe you'll come back someday. But it's been quite an adventure, and we will continue celebrating 5 years. We have some changes coming up to our website and some other things too. We will let you know.
We've been updating the Twitch TV. A big shout out to all of our recent subs, by the way. That Amazon Twitch Prime has been fantastic for a lot of people. I put up a little PSA YouTube highlight as well. That's been fantastic. We literally are at 151 right now, and we get 2 more emoticons when we hit 250. So we hit the hump, if you will, a while ago, and it just keeps rolling. So thank you guys so much for the support and dedication on that, and all of our new followers and guys that you guys show up, you interact, chat, and of course our lurkers. We like our lurkers. It's all right. We get it. Maybe you're at work and you can't, interact. We get it. But just want to say thank you guys so much for the support on that. That is
that Twitch Prime's been pretty awesome for the community, for the Twitch streamers and so forth.
Daeron, get Phil away. Oh my god. Like I said, when we do hit 250 subs,
on that,
by the way, I will be doing a 12-hour stream. I did make that commitment. I didn't include you, Daeron, so there you go.
If we hit what?
When we hit 250 subs.
Oh, when we hit 250.
Yeah,
Okay.
I said I'll do a 12-hour stream. So,
all right.
There we have it.
Angerbeard, look at he's there. He's lurking. So
Always
hopefully
lurking.
Angerbeard will be talking soon. Anyway, that's pretty much it for MWO and NGNG news. Again, Bandit, thank you for being here and updating us on MRBC League, which is exciting. I can't wait to see that league kick off. Matches happening. I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of exciting matches coming from that. Be sure to tune in, and then of course we'll keep working together with the MWO World Championship Tournament regional finals coming up. Stay tuned for that. Yeah, is there anything else you want to plug, Bandit, before we're out of here?
Just go support all the new shoutcasters that are trying to get into the scene too. I mean, obviously we've been doing it for a few seasons, but there's a lot of people who are interested in it and they need your support and feedback. So definitely go give them a watch. Be gentle, of course, but encourage them to increase, because the more casters we get out there, the more coverage MWO gets out in the world.
Awesome. And again, to reiterate what Phil was saying, thank you all out there for the support. There were some subs and follows and so forth during the stream. We appreciate that. And yeah, Phil, you have anything else to say on that?
Oh no, like I said, you guys have literally, I'll start the streams and it just becomes this like instantaneous, and you guys, the support has been fantastic. And of course, like I said, kudos to Amazon for finally doing something integrated. It gives, people that already, and mainly it's for people that already have Amazon Prime. I don't want to push Amazon Prime on you. That is not our prerogative. But if you already have it and you'd like to support NGNG TV, and of course, if you've already subbed, and I think this is important, if you've already subbed to NGNG TV and you have Amazon, go through the Twitch Prime, cancel that sub, save yourself $4.99. Like I said, it's mainly just to get it out there. And yeah, and of course, the one thing I will say with Bandit and Daeron is we've talked about things that could definitely help improvement of shoutcasting. I know there's a lot of ideas, replay systems, this and that, improve, this and that. The great thing is, we do have these people that have been doing this now for well over a year, and when those discussions are happening behind the scenes, we'll make sure that those voices are definitely heard. But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys so much. This has been a good podcast, and of course, Bandit, it's always a pleasure. And
we bumped his schedule. By the way, you have some scrimmages or something going on tonight?
It looks like my scrimmage actually got canceled, so I'm gonna do my dailies.
Sorry about that, but anyway, we appreciate you being here, making the sacrifices. Again, I do want to let you know again, keep your eyes open, whatever, for maybe a Twitter post, something like that, about Phil and myself with Bandit and MDM0 doing kind of a recap of the qualifiers, as well as the three-way tie and what happened with that. So that will be Friday, maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday. I don't know. We'll let you know as soon as we know. Stay tuned, and thanks again.
I was going to say, not only do we have the Huntsman sneak peek coming on Monday.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we have something else that you're working on, huh?
We have something else, and I'm just going to leave that there. Totally.
Really? You're not going to
Nope. Not even.
You tease.
I'm just going to, something that
it's such a hot topic. It's
coming out Tuesday in the patch.
I feel like you should bring it up.
Shut your freaking face there, old man. No, anyways, guys, it's yeah, you guys will enjoy it, and of course, take
us out, man.
Just want to say thank you again to all of our listeners, new and old, or old and new, and of course all of our new subs, our patrons. We had a new patron today. Thank you guys so much for your support and backing. I just want to say it is greatly appreciated, and just it blows my mind. And of course, this was your local No Guts, No Galaxy MechWarrior podcast. Signing off for tonight. This is Phil,
and this is Daeron.
Until next time, Mech Warriors.
And Bandit.
Oh, we totally didn't get that. Don't forget Bandit.
This is Bandit.
This is Bandit.
There we go.
Later all.
See you guys.